The big. And welcome to Tackle the Board. My name is Chris Exusion. You can find me at Chris Ebom on Twitter. Tackle the Board, powered by the Sharp app. My co-host Russ Reese, the Vegas line reader. How we doing, Russ?
How am I doing? Oh my gosh. I was crying myself to sleep Sunday night. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, it was a rough weekend. The mighty has fallen. The hot streak that I was on pretty much all season, winning every week, finally came to an end. A losing week. But you know what? The cream will rise to the top, Russ, and we will come back stronger than ever with a winning week this week. I promise you that.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. This is actually, in 15 years of betting, this has actually been having that bad weekend. Only had like 4 games, but lost all 4 of them. It was just rough. A lot of close games. I was talking about UCLA, close game that lost. I'm still sticking to my guns on some of the other picks that we had with the Eagles and 49ers. Both teams just played terrible. And that game with the 49ers, I mean, I'm watching Carson Wentz just chuck the ball up in the air, and every single point that he got was from pass interferences. It was just, both games were just rough to watch. And then those games just put me on tilt for the week. And literally, I had to take the day off the other day. Hold on a second. I had to get in a Zen place, man. I'm good to go now, man. I think I'm good this week. We're going to hit a lot of winners. I did a lot of work, man. I'm not messing around this week. I said this a couple of weeks ago when I had a bad weekend last time. I had an undefeated the next weekend. So when that happens the next weekend, man, I don't mess around. So I'm ready to go this week.
Absolutely. Got to follow if we're off a bad week, honestly, because we come back pretty strong. A couple of things I want to talk about my games as well. The Fresno State game, completely dominating Nevada. And then they let Nevada score with 50 seconds to go, pretty much a whole 100-yard drive for the most part. Then they missed the two-point conversion, so they win by 2, lose by the hook. It was such a killer. Fresno State was dominating that game on both sides of the ball. Strong actually threw some picks, which he never does. It came up on the board constantly, like he hasn't thrown a pick in 190 attempts or something crazy. And UCLA, they were dominating. And I was, after doing extra work, I ended up putting a play on that as well. The Iowa State game with Oklahoma State, it was unbelievable. Sanders just threw, or Sanders, it doesn't even matter. Guy was throwing off his back foot, corner end zone, 30-yard touchdown passes. Iowa State ended up winning that game off the revenge, but the line was too big. But I had the bigger play with the under, one of my few winners from this past week. I knew that under was going to hit. It was looking a little dicey, but had to take that off my chest. It's a new week. I'm super excited about it. And speaking of being super excited, we're going to have our guy Anthony on, Anthony Servino. He's going to be talking some DFS right now. Anthony, how you doing today?
What's going on, guys?
Nothing too much. Just licking a little bit of our wounds, you know.
Yeah,
finally, the mighty has fallen 1 week, so we're going to bounce back strong.
You got to pick us up here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we'll jump into what we usually do. So we'll jump into the quarterbacks first. You got any quarterbacks that you're focused in on this week for a sleeper?
Yeah, I like a couple of quarterbacks this week, but if you want to look at a sleeper, you know, Matt Ryan has been starting to get going with this offense. 3 straight games with 22-plus DraftKings points. He's only priced at 5,900 this week. And I like the matchup against Carolina. It's a familiar opponent, and Carolina might get Stephon Gilmore this week, but it's going to be his first game coming off that injury, so who knows how effective he's going to be. Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts, Gage, that entire offense is starting to click. Cordarrelle Patterson. So this could be a big week for Matt Ryan. And because of the matchup against Carolina, I can see a lot of people fading Ryan.
I like that you kind of brought up a QB that isn't typically like a chalk against like a worse kind of defense for the most part, because if I'm just looking straight off of DraftKings right now, it's only against the 18th opponent's rank. So it's right in that middle. So if he does get a good boom, you know, in that game, especially a tough Carolina defense like that, you're definitely going to cash in with it.
Yeah, you know, he's lit up the bad defenses as he should. But it's Carolina. Like, he plays Carolina twice a year for his entire career. He knows this team and this defense pretty well. It's not like it's an unfamiliar opponent with a really good defense.
Yeah, I'm looking at another bottom feeder guy here on the lower. Do you like Trevor Lawrence at all? How's he been doing?
Trevor Lawrence is playing better, but the Jaguars are becoming more of a run team for the past few weeks, which is actually helping Trevor Lawrence. He's only priced at $5,500, $400 less than Matt Ryan. But Lawrence, contrary to Ryan, where Ryan had the 3 or 4 straight 22-point games, Lawrence only has one 22-point game in his past 4 games with mixes of 19, 17, and 11. And he's been getting pretty good matchups.
Very true. So what about what are you looking at for running backs this week? Any sleepers for running back?
Let's see. Lower price running backs that I like. Kenneth Gainwell from Philly. No Miles Sanders. He's going to miss a few weeks. And the Eagles like the rookie. I don't think they're going to emphasize the use of Boston Scott. We saw that last year, and it really didn't work out. They drafted Gainwell, and Gainwell, in his sporadic usage this season, has played pretty good football. And this is an opportunity for Kenneth Gainwell to maybe take this job and not give it back.
Yeah, about Gainwell, I kind of like that as well. The Eagles really haven't given Miles Sanders that kind of love that we expected that we were going to get for the most part with him. They've been giving a lot of touches with Gainwell already, and now they're going to have to show their hand now even more. And it looks like he's probably going to get a lot more touches because Boston Scott really hasn't been really that reliable of a back.
No, and Scott's a solid complimentary back, and I think he had 49% of the snap share last week when Miles Sanders was out, but a lot of Scott's run was in the fourth quarter when the game was already out of reach.
So what about you got any guys eyed up for wide receivers? I don't want to toot my own horn, but my boy Mike Evans, 3 touchdowns last week. Oh, every time he has a bad game, he always goes off for some reason. It's crazy. He's like a big baby. He's got to get the ball for some reason.
This
but
week,
for wide receivers, there any guys that any boom players this week?
Well, I think this is a week like you don't play Mike Evans, and I think a lot of people are going to be fading him. Marshawn Lattimore shuts Mike Evans down, even though Marshawn Lattimore is not the same corner that he was 3 years ago. He has Mike Evans' number. So even with Antonio Brown out, I'm not touching Mike Evans, and maybe Mike Evans gets on the board. But just a little stat, last year, Mike Evans lined up against Lattimore 3 games. Evans scored a touchdown in 2 of them. So Evans' stat line in those 3 games, 1 reception, 3 yards and a touchdown, 1 receptions, 2 yards and a touchdown, and 4 for 64. So I'm not touching Mike Evans against Marshawn Lattimore. I want to see Mike Evans light Lattimore up before I go and start him this week.
Yeah, it seems like a defense smash mouth kind of game anyway, too.
But
is there any guys that you think will go off this week at wide receiver?
Yeah, if we're looking for the cheaper plays this week, you scroll down. Emmanuel Sanders was pretty hot going into the bye, and he's only 5,400, and he's playing just about on par as Stephon Diggs. Emmanuel Sanders, 4 straight games with 13 plus PPR points, 2 of those games over 20. And this is a guy priced at 5,400 on a high octane passing attack, and they're getting the Miami Dolphins. And that defense clearly isn't what we thought it would have been coming off of last season.
How about Pittman Jr.? You trust him at all right now?
Yeah, Michael Pittman is slowly becoming one of my favorite receivers to watch play. It was the primetime game against the Ravens where Michael Pittman really emerged on national television, and he caught my attention. And even though the Ravens ended up winning the game, Michael Pittman was a stud, beating the Ravens' top coverage. And then even last week against San Francisco's secondary still pretty good. He puts 23.5 on them with 105 yards and a touchdown. So yeah, Michael Pittman on the Colts. There's no other, like T.Y. Hilton's already out. He returned for like 3 quarters. Zach Pascal's the number 2 there. They like using Mo Alley Cox, but Pittman is going to be a star in this league.
Yeah, I forget whoever the other receiver was on the Colts. He's out for
Paris Campbell. He can never stay healthy.
Yeah, he's done, right?
I mean, three seasons, 3 stints on IR.
Exactly. Yeah, Pittman Jr., he had some pass interference calls too, so he could have had some more stats last week too in that game.
And he's only priced at 5,300. It's asinine, actually.
Yeah, against Tennessee. I guess people saw Tennessee play good the last couple of weeks, but you got to think their secondary's still not good, right?
No, and I think they'll Tennessee's playing better, whatever they did to the Colts. To the Chiefs, I think it's more of an issue with the Chiefs than the Titans being that good.
That's true. What about, have you checked out any guys for tight end? Who are you looking at this week?
One of the tight ends I really like this week, Gerald Everett. Now, he's a sneaky play. He probably needs to score, but with Geno Smith under center, they are starting to look at Gerald Everett a little bit more at the tight end position. Jacksonville's a really good matchup, and I don't think many people are going to be using Everett. He's been one of the bigger disappointments in fantasy this season at the tight end position. Another one, CJ Uzoma. This guy is coming out of nowhere. A couple of big games already this year. He's had 20 plus PPR points in 2 of his past 4 games. I think he scored a touchdown or 5 touchdowns in his past 4 games, and he's only priced at 3,700, and he's playing the Jets, who's been lit up by the tight ends. Like, a couple weeks ago was Kyle Pitts went off, and in that same game, Hayden Hurst and Lee Smith, I think they all caught touchdowns. And then last week, Hunter Henry scored his 4th touchdown in his past 4 games against the Jets.
So that's why I was going to ask you a quick fantasy football question, because I got Hunter Henry. Do you think he's solid enough? I don't need to pick up a Uzoma to pick him up. Just stick with Hunter Henry, you think?
I mean, if Uzoma is out there, I think Uzoma is going to have a higher ceiling. Like, I don't see many 20-plus point games for Hunter Henry, but he'll give you that like 4 receptions, 35 yards, and a touchdown, which is right around 10 or 12 PPR points, where we've seen Uzoma pop, for 24 in 2 of his past 4 games. So it all depends on what you're looking for. But I think Henry is the safer, more consistent play, where Uzoma is going to give you a little bit more boom or bust variance.
More of a GPP play, right? Probably
Yes.
much. Okay.
Yeah. Well, if you were talking about season-long fantasy and not, were you talking about DFS or season-long with that question?
Actually, just fantasy football long season.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, it depends. Like, I usually like the more consistent play, which would be Henry.
Yeah,
I have Henry in my team as well, but as a backup because I got Kyle Pitts that I got, so he's just sitting there.
Wow, you're lucky you got him as a backup.
But I did score. I did have him when he went against the Cowboys, so that was good. So
yeah, if you have 2 good tight ends, like in your situation, and you're facing bye weeks or injuries, like I've been starting Gesicki and Henry for like the past 3 or 4 games because I have some injuries to overcome, and Hunter Henry is a better flex play than like the third receiver on most NFL teams.
Oh, nice. That's good to know. So what are we looking at defense-wise? I don't want any chalky defense. I need a middle-tier defense that I can look at that can be kind of sneaky with to make some noise this week.
Well, the Bengals are going to be the chalk. You know, getting the New York Jets and whoever the hell that Mike White starting at quarterback. But even the 49ers, they're borderline chalk because they're getting the, Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears. But I think this is going to be one of those low-scoring games where you can use them. But if you want a high-ceiling defense, I almost want to say the Jaguars.
Okay. I like it. It's
Jaguars, Seahawks, and, it's Geno Smith.
Yeah. I like it.
I like that. And I think you're on the right track, actually, with the 49ers, because I don't think many people will take them just because they've lost 4 straight, and I don't think anyone's really paying attention to them anymore.
Nice. I like that as well. We're trying to find some sneaky plays for you guys because that's important, because this is how you gain points against these guys when you do the daily fantasy. That's important scoring that guys aren't going to get. So trying to find you some good sleepers there. But Anthony, before you go, give us your 3 guys you got to play this week.
3 guys you got to play. I'm going to go with at quarterback. I'm going to go with Josh Allen. He's the most expensive quarterback on the board. But last year, I think he totaled 7 or 8 touchdowns against the Dolphins in 2 games. And this defense clearly took a step back. So I would pay up for the quarterback this week. If we're going down to running back, James Robinson against Seattle. Seattle's one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. You rack up fantasy points. Look what Kamara did on Monday night. James Robinson only priced at 6,600, where Derrick Henry's 8,900. And I think they have just about the same upside. We've seen James Robinson put up 30 points in the game too. And then if you want to go to wide receiver, if you want to pay up, and this stack is going to make you go cheap everywhere else, the Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen stack. I think they could have a monster game this weekend. But you're going to pay for them.
Yep.
You just got to hit on your lower positions. Like you go value defense, you go value tight end.
No, I love it. And I remember at the beginning of the year, I talked about the Bills, and there was a stat that I really liked with the Bills. In the fourth quarter, when leading, they're still one of the fastest paced teams, even when up, which is great to score those points with Allen because they don't put that foot on the brake in the fourth quarter. They keep attacking, which is always great to rack up the fantasy points. But thank you again, Anthony Servino. Where can they find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru and my content at fffaceoff.com.
All right, Anthony. Thank you again. Let's go have another winning week here in the DFS world.
Good luck, guys.
All right. Thanks,
man.
Appreciate it. All right. And that's Anthony Servino, The Real NFL Guru.
Good stuff.
Good. I like some of those little sleepers you have there. That Jag plays a little nice over there. And you know what? It's okay to pay up for Allen because I think, like I said before, they're going to kill this team. And I think there's going to be a lot of points that come along with it against this team.
I like that you're on my Jag side this week, too. We might have a nice little play this week. I don't know.
We'll have to find out here. Well, without further ado.
Me and Chris, we talk after the show about what the big boy plays are after the show.
Sure. The sharp plays, but we want to give you guys all the leans, of course, and see what we're going to get into. But hey, let's get into this card right now, Russ. We got a nice little NFL card here. We're coming back here, going to have a really good week. And this Thursday night game is not going to be a snooze, to say the least. We got the Packers at the Cardinals. The Cardinals are 6.5-point favorites. The over/under is 51. Russ, where are we going with this game?
Yeah, I have a feeling, Chris, whoever's watching the show, I think I'm going to go undefeated this week. I think I'm going to hit every single game this week. All right, just letting you know that first. All right. There we go. We got the Cardinals. All right. Cardinals, more balanced team, 7th in offensive yards a game, 3rd in defensive yards allowed. Cardinals have only given up 6 passing touchdowns in 7 games this season. Cardinals are 5th in sacks in the NFL. Packers are actually 23rd in offensive yards a game. Rodgers is going to struggle against the Cardinals pass rush here. 28-20. Cardinals, take the Cardinals.
All right. Well, Russ likes the Cardinals over here. Actually, I also wanted to bring up as well, the Green Bay secondary is not that good. So Kyler Murray should have a field day. I think a good play as well would be taking the team total over on the Cardinals. I think they're going to get their points themselves. I don't know how Green Bay is going to really do because I'm kind of leaning towards under on this game because I feel like they're going to run the ball a lot more and try to control that clock and get it away from Kyler Murray. Are they going to be able to score doing that? I'm not sure. So I'm leaning more of the under 51 here.
Yeah, since you like the under, I would. And you think Cardinals are going to score points, it sounds like you should take the Packers under and team total points then.
Yeah, I think that's also a good double, triple dip, if you will. A little same game parlay action that you can get into.
Packers have not impressed me. I mean, we had the Skins last week. We just knew that it was a boring game for the Packers, but Packers really didn't do much in that game. The Skins they suck. They couldn't score at the end of the game. The Packers were literally giving them the backdoor cover, but I'm sorry, Washington football team couldn't take advantage. So not impressed with the Packers this year. I'll take the Cardinals, who I think's probably a top 5 team. They're the most balanced team. They look like how the Rams were before. Great defense, great offense, and just dominate teams.
And the coaching's been fantastic, too. Kingsbury's been doing an absolutely great job.
Best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, what else can you ask for out of this team, really?
I know. They've been doing everything perfect, and they've been showing it every week, so it's kind of hard to fade them at this point. 6.5 is a really big line. I'm not going to lie, Russ. It's a big line, and I do have some stats that are kind of contrarian for the most part. Matt LaFleur is 9-2 versus foes that are greater than 500 off a straight up against the spread win. And the Cardinals haven't been the best team on Thursday. They're 1-7 on Thursday night games versus over 500 opponents. But the Packers
dating back before Kyler Murray, though.
Yeah, exactly my point. So that's before Kyler Murray because that's not a lot of games with him there. So it's kind of, you take it for what it is. So this is kind of like a newer Cardinals team. Kingsbury's only been there for some time, but the Cardinals have been hot. I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but I would personally take the Cardinals as well, but I'm more of a fan of the under here.
Nice.
The next game we're getting into is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Jets. The Jets are a 10.5-point favorite. I mean, a dog. A dog. I was looking at the Bengals, but then I was looking at the Jets. 10.5-point dog. Over under is 42.5. I almost lost myself to saying the Jets were a 10.5-point favorite, but that's not the case. Russ, where are we going?
Most guys know I don't take usually road favorites or big spreads, as I learned my lesson last week with the Panthers. But this is the type of game where it could be a big spread, where the Bengals aren't really excited about the game, but I still think they're good enough to shut down the Jets. So I'm going with the Jets under 16 team total points here. Bengals defense, they've been solid, 10th in defensive yards allowed, 6th in sacks. I just feel like the Bengals don't have much motivation as they blew out the Ravens last week, and they have the Browns next week. So this is what you call a sandwich game. If you guys ever bet before, that's called a sandwich game. So I'll take Bengals 24-13 here. Take the under.
Sandwich game?
A little sandwich.
Sandwich. My father-in-law, he goes sandwich. He says sandwich with an M. It's a South Philly thing. It's sandwich.
And a sandwich game, and just so no, just some people don't know what a sandwich game is. All right.
Well, I'm glad you informed the fine people that are watching.
You got a division game, and then you got shit team, and then you got division game. So you're looking at your schedule. You ain't looking at the Jets. You're just laughing. All right. You're not really coming out. This is like the Packers of last week, but they still covered the game, but you could tell the Packers weren't in that game. They just made some plays at the end of the game and beat the Skins. So I mean, the Bengals can still cover this game. I still think they'll cover, but am I going to lay my money on it? I'm not going to lay my money on it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm going to lay my money on it. All right. I'll do it for you. I love the Bengals here. This is a young team. This isn't a veteran team. They don't know the meaning of putting their foot on the brake. These Jets are terrible. Now you're getting a QB that's not even going to be able to score for the most part. The defense, like you said, the Bengals have been playing really well. This Cincinnati team the up is down is up. The standings have changed. The Bengals are taking over here, and Burrow's been fantastic. Chase has been amazing. They're going to be amped up. And my man Richard checking in. Bengals are young. They will be amped. You are 100% right, my friend, because they will be amped and ready to go. They're not a veteran team that needs to put their foot on the brake and look ahead. The time is now, Rich, and this is going to be a Bengal spot where they're going to. What do we call this game, Russ? We call this game a body bag game. This is a body bag game.
All right.
Bag game. We're going to put out QBs that have been working at ShopRite over here. We're going to put them in the body bag.
You going to sweep the leg too here or what?
Yeah, we're going to sweep the leg. We're going to do it all. With Kung Fu, I don't even care how this goes, man. Is Flacco playing? Heck no, he's not playing. What is he going to do? He doesn't even know the playbook yet. He's going to be out there like a statue? No, thank you. They want to keep him for the next week if Wilson's not playing. This game, Jets, like you said, you like the under on their points. Then that means they're still going to cover anyway. Because at the end of the day, if you follow the Sharp app, I got this game below 10 when it came out. I knew what the situation was. If you follow the app, you know this is one of my big plays here. So I really like the Bengals. I have them under 10, laying under 10 points, but I would still take over 10.5 at this point. I have no problem doing that. This Jets team sucks.
Yeah, I know. My confidence level is just more on knowing that Jets won't score. Because I'm just thinking that the Bengals, they have to score over 27 points. So I could feel like they could still mess around and still score like 24 points in this game or something. That's because they're on the road. They could get out of Dodge. That's my only concern. And it's on the road too. Yeah.
And I also did a little weatherman Doppler report over here just to make sure I was going to get any funky weather over here. It's going to be a beautiful day in East Rutherford.
Hurricane Schwartz over here. It's going to be a beautiful. You're going to see the sun out there. Sunday, beautiful day for a beatdown. It's going to be a nice day for a beatdown. The sun with the shades on. I'm ready to roll. I was kind of worried because the nor'easter was moving in from up to down, left to right. And, it goes in that circle. I got my meteorologist degree. I'm telling you what I know here. And like our
the
49ers
not going to be there on Sunday. So I'm not
worried.
The
night perfect with a nor'easter just coming in, just ruining our week even worse. I'm watching Garoppolo. He can't even hold the ball.
God.
It looked like every time he threw it, it was like I could have threw it harder than him. And then you're watching Wentz. He actually just throws the ball downfield. You're just like, you can't handicap like huge storms like this. You just don't know who the hell is going to play. You know what I mean? You could tell the first quarter when there wasn't a storm, the 49ers were kicking ass. And then, okay, the storm came and they were done. So
absolutely.
Definitely not
Carlos,
back.
and my man Carlos is coming in. Beautiful day for a good old butt whooping. You got that right, buddy. Yeah, it's going to be a nice little late of SmackDown.
I'm seeing a lot of money coming in on the Bengals this week.
I love it. Let's keep breaking it all in. I don't care.
But yeah, it's good that the Bengals are
I'm just rallying the troops. I'm getting people amped up to the place here.
You pay people to put these messages
No
in.
way. These are our great fans that watch the show. I absolutely love it. We're going to crush them with this game.
Yeah, the Bengals, I like that they're the new exciting team too. So they're going to play hard all the time. They're not like one of these teams that have been there before and they can take weeks off. You know what I mean? So these are, these guys.
I know what you mean. Lay the SmackDown, no problem.
Yes.
I like it.
This guy's speaking our language over here.
I know. He's speaking languages. We know what this guy's talking about. Carlos. Thanks for checking in.
Here.
Absolutely love it. All right, let's go to the next game because I'm getting too amped up over here. Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. We got minus 13.5 for the Bills, over under 49.5. Russ, what are we doing here?
A lot of mixing it up this week, boys. I'm taking the over here. All right,
Oh,
Bills coming off a loss, and it's off of a bye, so the offense should be able to put up 35 points in this game easily, like last time. The Dolphins had 2 actually knocked out in the first half last time these guys played.
Yes.
So I just don't see a huge blowout like last time they faced off when it was 35-0. All right. So Dolphins had the ball inside the Bills 30-yard line 4 times in that game, and they came away with 0 points. So I just feel like this is a different story. I feel like Tua, he can get plenty of garbage points in this game. I could see a 34-21 type of game here. Give me the over.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Love the over. Last time they played, the Bills were only a 3.5 point favorite. Now we're up to almost 14 points. They just know they're just going to put on tons of points. And what we talked about, Anthony Servino before, I was talking about, the Bills do not take the foot off the pedal with Josh Allen in the fourth quarter. So we know points are going to be scored and be scored at will. I love the over here. And if you're actually feeling froggy, you want to leap with the Bills. The Bills are 5-0 against the spread this year versus teams with a losing record. They beat the shit out of these bad teams all year round. So if you want to lay the Bills with the points, I have no problem with that. But I'm with you, Russ. I'm all about that over.
Nice.
Next game we're going to get into is the Rams at the Texans. It is also another big spread. Texans are getting 14 points. The over-under is at 47.5, Russ. What do we do with this game?
Here's another game. I like the over here. Texans have faced 3 teams this year in the top 10 in offense. They gave up 31, 31, and 40 in those games, average of 34 points. It actually looks like Tyrod Taylor should be back to give the Texans a little bit of a spark, too.
Oh, is he going to play this week? I thought he's still in the IR.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I'll have to check on Friday on this guy. Yeah. So if he isn't playing, I'm not taking the over here. But if he is coming back, I'm on the over. And this is a non-conference type of game here. So I definitely like the over. 34-17 type of game. I told you guys to take the Rams under last week against the Lions. We ended up hitting that. But this game, I just feel like now they'll let loose. The Rams will put up some points here.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams typically before the season started, they're 8-0 against the spread against teams that are less than 33%. If Tyrod Taylor is playing and he is truly healthy, I wouldn't actually mind taking the 14 points with the Texans because he did have that first good game during the year, and 14 points. I'm not saying Tyrod Taylor's laying the world on fire, but this is kind of a game. This is kind of like the reverse that, like, you know, this is a veteran team with like Stafford and guys like that where like they know who they are. They're not young. They're just not gripping it and ripping it. You know, they're picking their points, their spots, and everything. Rich is checking. He said Tyrod practiced today, so that's good news.
I was waiting until you were finished. Thanks for throwing that out there, though, Rich.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for contributing. We appreciate that. But yeah, if Tyrod's playing, I would take the points. But besides that, I'm pretty much just staying away from this game. I'll let you take the over on that.
Oh yeah.
Next game we got is the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are -1.5. The over under 51.
Oh, man. I'm usually an under guy, man. We got 3 in a row here. I got the over here again. All right. Titans gave up under 20 points in 2 games this season. The next game, every time they did that, they gave up 27 points and 31 points the next game. They gave up only 3 points last week to the Chiefs. They have an average defense, so I see the Colts getting points in this game. Colts secondary has been banged up. They just got lucky last week because there was a huge storm or whatever, so 49ers couldn't put up any points. Definitely see some points scored. This game was low scoring last time. That's because Wentz had 2 sprained ankles. Oh, look, I'm talking a little nice about Carson Wentz. Dude, look at me over here.
Don't get too carried away.
I'm being a little generous for him this game, but I see a 28-27 type of game just because the Titans have been playing really good defense. I could just see this game actually get into a shootout here. And I know Tannehill gets into, like, I saw some studies like 70% on over. So he didn't hit an over last week. So I see the over hitting this week. So 28-27 type of game. Give me the over.
Yeah, I'm actually on the side over here. I really like the Titans here this week. Division play. Titans are 9-0 off a straight-up win versus an opponent off a double-digit straight-up win. The Colts coming off that double-digit victory against the 49ers. And the Colts are actually 0-6 at home off a back-to-back straight-up against the spread wins, which they have done as well. So this is a really good letdown spot for the Colts that have been kind of playing over their head a little bit. And the Titans are kind of, getting into the groove that we thought they were going to be into now. So you talk about the secondary being banged up and everything, not being exposed because of the weather. Guess what? It's going to get exposed this week. Give me the Titans as a small favorite, 1.5.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. I mean, the Titans went on a run a couple of years ago where they got hot. So who knows if the Titans get hot again. Yeah.
And a lot of people are probably really liking the Colts right now based off of that, prime time game.
Yeah.
This is a great spot, a great letdown spot here. The next game we got, I'm really curious to see where you go with this game because this is a tough one here. The Philadelphia Eagles at the Detroit Lions. The Lions are getting 3.5 points at home. Short dog over under 48, Russ. Where are we going?
I bet you're curious. I got my line. It says it right here. This is the one game I'm going to avoid this week. But I don't know what the Lions offense they're going to do in this game. And I don't know what the Eagles defense is going to do as they're the worst. They're the worst in penalties. So I can't trust these guys on the road in this game. Lions eventually got to win a game too. And it could be against the Eagles who have bad coaching and get tons of penalties. But the one thing I do like, though, is the Eagles team total points over, though, 26.5, if I had to pick something here.
Okay.
Because the one thing what hurts is what I know he can do is put up points against bad teams. So this game could go over because I can see him getting over that 26.5 points. So I could probably lean the over because I was talking about Goff. They haven't been able to put over 17 points in it was 4 or 5 straight weeks. I think last week they just put up 19. So I feel like this is a game they can get in the 20s at home against the Eagles here. So I could see this being a pretty crazy game, like 27-23 or something. So I think it could hit 50 here.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of that, I actually kind of like the Detroit Lions over on points, over 22.5.
Yeah, that's good.
I think he will get a lot of time back there. There'll be a lot of wide open wide receivers. We know how bad the linebacking core has been. Swift should be pretty solid there. The tight end play has been great for them this year. I actually, if I had to take something, I would lean the Lions with the points just because I just can't trust the Eagles being anywhere under a touchdown at this point. They're just not good. Did you hear what Sirianni was talking about? He's talking about like planting a garden with flowers.
He's been doing that since the start of the season. I told you, man.
This guy is completely losing it. And like Fletcher Cox is talking out loud. And it's getting super ugly really fast.
Fletcher Cox can't get a sack and he's blaming the coaches now.
Yeah, well, there's got to be a scapegoat somewhere. And then the coaches are saying we suck after he comes out and talks. It's crazy. So this Eagles team is not in the right state of mind. I feel bad for my man, the wide receiver, Devontae Smith, because he is such a stud and he's in this garbage pail of like a team now.
I knew Jeffrey Lurie was doing this on purpose. They were talking down the Eagles all season. They're like, yeah, we're not going to be that good or whatever. He's like, and then they brought in Sirianni. I'm like, who in the hell is this guy? I'm like, this guy is just a front, total moron that has no clue what he's doing. You could even tell, oh my God, Gannon, Jesus, he's worse.
Gannon's been terrible on defense.
Worst defensive coordinator. So hopefully they get rid of both of them, but then this season they'll just get rid of Gannon and say, all right, we'll just got rid of this guy.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get rid of somebody.
You could tell this guy can't make any adjustments during the game. So that's the problem with the team is they just get out coached by the end of the game. When Derek Carr's throwing all over the field. I mean,
Oh.
he couldn't throw
He
an
threw
incomplete,
90% or something.
and he was missing Waller. He's throwing to a bunch of bombs. That's absurd. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think personally the play is the over on the Detroit Lions, 22.5. I think they could maybe even get close to that by halftime.
Yeah, this team's a mess. The terrible coaching, all those penalties on the road. Yeah, the Lions get their first win here.
Yeah,
I think sometime. I don't want to see Campbell crying anymore.
Yeah, I can't take that grown man crying anymore. He just loves his team so much. I just can't take it. You know, it's just such a sob story. Grown ass man crying out there because
I hope he doesn't cry. I hope he doesn't cry after he wins a game.
Oh my god! Well, you know what? They probably have this game circled because of how bad the Eagles are playing. This is their Super Bowl, I think.
Yep, the two worst coaches in the NFL going up against each other.
They might be. You might be right. Because Anthony Lynn's no longer a head coach. He's the
definition of a toilet bowl right here
for the Lions. That might be the worst. Actually, that might be the worst coaching duo in NFL. I'm sorry because Anthony Lynn is so bad, but I could talk about him for days, but we won't because I don't want people to leave. So the next game we're going to get into, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are laying 3.5. The over/under is 42. Russ.
All right, we're getting off of those overs, boys. We're getting to my bread and butter with the unders here. I've been hitting these unders all season long. I got to backtrack and look at all these things. Oh, my gosh. I need to start betting them. Both of the matchups last year for these two teams, they were actually shootouts. So now we got a completely different story here. Steelers are coming off a bye. They get to face Keenum here, who should be playing in this game, or even a banged-up Baker, who should not even be playing in this game. Browns defensive line, they're going to overmatch the Steelers offensive line. So they got one of the best defensive lines against the worst offensive lines in the NFL. Steelers are going to struggle to score points on the road here. So I think both teams are just going to play conservative here and just see who makes the first mistake in this game. I just see a 17-13 type of game. I just think this goes under easily.
Yeah, I'm more on the side with this game. I actually like the dog here. We bash the Steelers a lot on this show, but as a dog, I really do like them. This year, I mean, well, not even this year, just like a track record. The last 17 games that they were a dog of less than 7 points versus a greater than 500 team. They're 16-1, Russ, against the spread. 16-1, yes. So they have covered as a dog less than a touchdown in good amounts. So I'm all over with the Steelers here. If I'm getting over a field goal, especially with the backup QB being in and all the running back issues and the wide receivers all banged up, Landry's banged up, everything else, I think this is a great spot for the Steelers. I really like the Steelers. If I'm getting 3.5, I'm all about that. This is a great spot with a team with a better coaching and just getting points. I think this is a good spot here. So give me the Steelers plus 3.5.
That's what it's all about. That's why they're so great, because I always talk about top 10 defenses getting points. You want to take the dog, and then if you got a bad bad defense giving points, you want to fade those teams. It's very easy to just look off of. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, that's pretty impressive ATS right there for the Steelers. But now that you say that, I mean, if Keenum is playing, I also like that backup quarterbacks giving points. That's something you gotta love there with the Steelers. Absolutely. I mean, I bashed the Steelers all year, but I've been telling us about fading them when they're favorites.
Yeah,
so
favorites.
Spot where they're a dog. So this is a good spot for them.
Absolutely. Next game, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Bears. The Bears are getting 3.5. Russ, the over-under is 39.5.
You thought the last game was a snoozer. Wait till you watch this game, guys. I'll take another under here. You got the 49ers defense. They gave up 30 points last week somehow. But that was because of bad weather, and all the points came off of those pass interference calls. The 49ers cornerbacks were literally falling over. So they literally were getting back up and just sprinting back at the guys and literally tackling them. It was probably the worst defense I've ever seen, but they were just screwed. There was nothing they could do. But for this game, 49ers defense, I just feel like they're going to bounce back here as they're now facing a rookie quarterback. And he's kind of banged. The Fields has been banged up too. That's why they looked terrible last week. I almost took the spread for the Niners for this game, but I just don't trust the 49ers offense to score enough on the road here with Kittle still being out. So I'm going to say they get up to 21 points, 21-14 type of game, but I'll take the under. I just feel more confident in the under in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about the Eagles-Lions game staying away. This is my ultimate stay away game. I absolutely hate this game. The 49ers have been disappointed with back-to-back bad coaching games, and the Bears can't stop anyone. Fields has been terrible. I'll go with you with the under, but this is my ultimate stay away game, so I have nothing else more to say about this snooze fest. The next game is the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are laying 3 points. The over-under is 45.5 for us.
I was in shock. Usually me and Anthony are on the same page. When I heard him talking Matt Ryan this week, I was like, no, he's not saying this. I was like, come on, man, let's go. I got the Panthers this week. I got fooled last week. Should have never taken the Panthers. Just stupid. You don't take average teams on the road giving points. It's just dumb. You only take playoff caliber teams on the road giving points. You never take road teams giving points in NFL. So we're back to square one with the Panthers. All right. They're getting points. The whole public's abandoned them again this time. So I'll take a pissed off team who's been embarrassed. They got a good defense. I got them all day here against the Falcons. I don't know. We talked about the Falcons last week giving points. I'm cringing when I said that. Yeah, what happened? They won by like 2 points to the terrible Dolphins. They beat the Dolphins. Who'd they beat 2 weeks ago? They beat another bad team. Falcons aren't good. They'll play with the bad teams, but Panthers have a good defense. Panthers have been everyone's got their one shit game that you just have for the whole season. Everyone goes through it. Panthers had it last week. They played terrible. The game was close the whole time. I'm like, all right, waiting for the Panthers to pull away. But the game was just, they couldn't score. And for some reason, the Giants just pulled away in that game. The Panthers, I just feel like they get it done here. The Falcons don't impress me, especially when they give points. I don't trust the Falcons. So I'll take the better defense. I'll take the Panthers getting, looks like some books are going to 3 points, or I'll take those 3 points all day.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that as well. We talked about before bad teams, not covering typically. Atlanta has covered their last 2 games, and they've been against really bad teams in the Jets and the Dolphins for the most part. So, I mean, if you're on the same boat as we are with this team not being that good, the chances of them covering this game is not looking that good. And on top of that, we were probably late on the Panthers, because we should have probably not took them there being a small
it was there. Amping up the Panthers way too much. When they're an average 8-9 win team, they're gonna lose on the road like that. It was just dumb of us.
So now that we're getting points here, they also haven't covered their last 4 games and lost their last 4. I mean, something's got to give for this Panthers team, and I think the Falcons might be the right recipe here. And if we're getting points there, this is probably gonna be a live dog here. I know they haven't been too impressive on offense, but I think there's a big coaching mismatch here with Rule as well. Give me the Panthers as well. I like them getting the points. And the road team in this matchup is 4-1 in their last 5 meetings. So the road team has had the better end of this matchup for the most part. So going with history with that as well. So give me the Carolina Panthers as well with Russ getting the 3 points.
Exactly. I mean, the Falcons, they beat the Giants, the Jets, and the Dolphins. Like, come on now.
Yeah, that's about it.
Exactly.
All right, next game here. We got the New England Patriots at the LA Chargers. Chargers are laying 5. The over-under, Russ, 49.
Go Chargers. I got the Chargers here. Patriots aren't coming off a 40 burger. They're coming off a freaking 50 burger, man. Holy shit. This Patriots offense coming off of 50 points. That means they're just due to not score points for a while now.
Yeah.
So you got the 2 best defenses Patriots have faced are the Saints and the Bucks this season. They scored 13 points and 17 points in those 2 games. This will be another solid defense where I actually think that this Chargers defense is better than both of those defenses. Chargers are coming off a bye in this game, and the Patriots, they actually embarrassed the Chargers last year, 45-0. You think Herbert doesn't see that? Give me the Chargers here. Probably like a 27-20 type of game, but I just feel like the Chargers win this easily. I'll let the Patriots get some backdoor crap, but we still cover this game.
Yeah, you're looking at more as like a backdoor situation where it makes the game look close, like the Eagles did with the Raiders.
Yeah, or against the Bucks.
Or against the Bucks
when they actually cover.
I know. The Eagles are the kings of making games look close, but you're not quite calling this a body bag game.
Nah, not a body bag game. I'm saving that for later. You'll
Okay,
see.
all right. We'll hold on to that. I'll roll with you with the LA Chargers. You know, the Superchargers. I have no problem digging that. I love Herbert, man. He's been slinging it like crazy, so I love that as well. But let's get into a little interesting game over here. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off their win, off the bye at Seattle. Seattle's laying 3.5. The over/under us a measly 43.5.
I did these notes about yesterday, but I am convinced I do like the Jaguars, but I do like the over too in this game. I'm probably going to side with the over more here because Geno scored 10 points and 20 points in the last 2 weeks, but they were versus good defenses. So I just think the offense is going to play a little better here against the Jaguars defense. Jaguars are 30th in the NFL in yards allowed on defense, and the Seahawks are 31st in NFL and yards allowed on defense. So I could easily see these teams both getting in the 20s here. I just feel it's going to be like a 24-21 type of game here. I mean, I think Geno can get in the 20s here against the Jaguars at home in this game. So definitely like the over here.
Yeah, it looks pretty easy to hit this over, right? But not so fast, Russ. I'm all about the under here, okay? We got a rookie quarterback coming into this pumped in noise of an arena over here where guys get a little flustered. They can't really get, the calls out there. They got to go on the silent count. This is a new rookie quarterback in the league. I know he's been playing in big games, but this is a whole new monster for him. And I don't think he's going to be able to score as well as you think here for the most part. And I actually got a little tidbit about Pete Carroll as well when he loves playing these shitty teams over here. Mm-hmm. Pete Carroll is 2-10 with the under being favored 10 out of 12 times, facing team as a favorite, facing a team that's less than 500. So he tends to pump the brakes a little bit for these shittier teams. He just wants to get out of Dodge, cool Pete Carroll, enjoying himself. He doesn't really care too much. He just wants to just win this game and get out. Give me the under 43.
Okay, nice. I think that's like the first time ever we've disagreed on an over/under. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. With the over/unders, we
have. I like when you get serious and start talking, man. I like to loosen you up a little bit.
Yeah,
it's all right.
I'm pretty loose. I'm drinking these. I'm drinking these Spindrifts now.
Yeah, you're too.
I'm trying to get them as a sponsor right now. So Spindrift, if you're watching, I'm in the sober October right now. So I've been drinking these Spindrifts to kind of kick me off the beer. So I'm really enjoying them.
I don't know what's in that thing. I mean, I don't know what's getting you going over there.
Seltzer water, little seltzer water.
That's extra sugar in there or something.
I don't know what it is. It's not much fun, but it's enough fun for me for the sober.
It's got 1 carb and 50 grams of sugar.
All right, hold on. Let me see what we got here. We got 0 sugar, 1 carb. All right, so we're locked in here. All right.
You're locked.
We're locked in. All right, now we're moving on. Spindrift, if you're listening, would love you have a sponsor. So by all means, we can work something out for my sober drink. Anyway, Washington football team at Denver. Denver is laying 3 points. The over/under 44. Where you at?
I got the Broncos here. I'd start putting off the siren, but that we got to put that to bed for now.
Yeah, that didn't work out last week.
So gotta think of something else.
Yeah, we got to come out with a new little sounder. That one did not do well.
So we got the Broncos coming off 4 losses. They're in the same situation as the Panthers here. I'd like the Broncos here to bounce back. They've been losing the solid teams the whole season, but they've been beating up on the bad teams. Washington is not a good football team here. They're playing with a backup quarterback, Heineke, all season long, and you can tell they've been terrible. They're like 1-6 against the spread this season. Washington's been bad. And Antonio Gibson, he keeps playing, but I hear that he's in pain in every single game that he's playing in now. It's only a matter of time. They're going to shut this guy down. And then on defense, these guys are ranked 29th in NFL in defensive yards allowed, Washington. And I see that the bet percentage is with Washington in this game. So I don't know what people are thinking. Broncos are going to be getting Jerry Jeudy back in this game for the offense. So I think they should just put up enough points. Exactly. Ooh. So they'll get back to those first 3 weeks where everything was going well. 24-17 type of game here. I got the Broncos.
Oh, I can take that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I talked about before, a couple weeks ago or the week before, I talked about the Denver having one of the toughest schedules based on Football Outsiders to start the season, based on how the records have been going and, the stats and everything. They've had one of the harder schedules to begin. So what a better time than to beat up on a Washington football team that really can't score. They can't defend the pass. Teddy Bridgewater should have a monster game this game, which I haven't really been able to say ever. And Washington themselves, they're 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games following an ATS loss. And Vic Fangio, he loves beating up these shitty teams. Vic Fangio is 8-0 versus teams less than 500 off a straight-up loss. So he loves kicking a bad team when they're down, and I absolutely love that mentality. And for laying -3, I'm all aboard this ass whooping.
Definitely. I mean, this Washington team is bad, man. I mean, they got the backup quarterback. They got a running back who is good, but he is just beat up as hell. And then even Samuel, their second wide receiver, he might be out for the season. He got hurt again. So McLaurin is like their only bright spot. So it's like that was their one bright spot last week. They threw him one deep pass and he caught it. So what are they going to do? Just throw one deep pass every week? It's like they got nothing going for them now. They're cooked.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into the Sunday night game. The Dallas Cowboys at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are getting 2.5 points. The over-under, Russ, 55. Where are we going?
I know you were getting excited before. We did miss a game, so I'll let you know after this one.
Oh, well, what do we got?
That's all right. We'll go back after this one.
Okay, fair enough.
Got
The real barn burner.
Yeah, it's cool. This game, I got the Vikings here. So Dak Prescott, a couple weeks ago, he got hurt his calf on the last play of the game. So if he wants to play in this game, his mobility is going to be limited. That's not a good thing considering they're facing a Vikings defense who are actually number 1 in sacks. I was pretty impressed when I saw that. Vikings are much better than what their record indicates, actually. They lost by 3 points to the Bengals, where they fumbled in overtime at the end of the game. They should have won the game. They lost by 1 point to the Cardinals, where they missed a chip shot at the end of the game, which they lost that game. And then the other legit loss was they lost by 7 points to the Browns. So you could argue that these guys could actually be 5-1 instead of being 3-3 right now. So these guys, I feel like they can play tight, and I haven't really seen the Cowboys cover a game on the road in a while as a favorite. So I don't know. Give me the Vikings here, 28-24. I like the Vikings here.
They could be 5-1, but they're not 5-1.
They are who we thought teams. Bengals and the Cardinals. Those aren't teams to sleep on too. Those are good.
I hear you. They're good teams, but there's plenty of firepower on this Vikings team, and the defense should be a lot better here. I'm on the other side. I like the Cowboys here. The Vikings just have not been good at home. They're 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games. But I think the key stat here, you were talking about Dak Prescott and his calf being an issue. I don't feel like that's going to be too big a problem. We all know Dallas's bread and butter is running the rock. That's important. They're second in rushing yards, and Vikings are 26th in the NFL in allowing rushing yards. So they're going to just stick to their normal game plan. The run game's going to be there for them, and then it's going to be opened up. You got CeeDee Lamb, you got Cooper out there, you got the tight end that Anthony always talks about constantly. I mean, they have plenty of weapons here, and the Vikings just always find ways to lose. You look at Cousins; he has these big numbers all the time, but it just hasn't translated the wins. I'm not overthinking this, Russ. Give me the Cowboys -2.5.
Okay.
All right, and I know what game you're talking about now because this is a pretty good game here. This was a game I do.
You're like getting all jacked up on your Jaguars under. That's why.
All right, we got Tampa Bay at New Orleans. The Saints are now getting 6 points. The over/under is 50. Russ, where are we going with this?
I actually like the under here. So we have the Saints who rely on the run game with Kamara a lot. The Bucs are the best in the NFL in rushing yards allowed. They didn't let Kamara do anything last year, so no Breeze this season. So it's all going to be Winston will have to do everything himself. And again, I always talk about this every week. He's got terrible wide receivers that can't take advantage of this Bucs bad secondary. Then we have the Saints defense who are actually third in rushing yards allowed. So they also got a defensive end, Marcus Davenport, and linebacker Quan Alexander actually back last week. That's why the defense looked so good last week. Give them a couple weeks here, but I just see them shutting down the run here for the Bucs too. And I think Brady's going to get in the 3rd and longs, which he hasn't gotten in all season. Got Antonio Brown. He's been on crutches all week. He doesn't have Gronkowski, so he's got limited weapons here. So I just feel like this is a 24-20 type of game. I think this is going to be a real playoff type game. I mean, the Saints, I don't feel like is a playoff team, but I just feel like they'll be jacked up for this game at home. The crowd's going to be really loud here. I just see the under here.
I like that underplay. That's a pretty sharp play there. I think it is going to be a hard fought game, but I still feel like the Bucs are going to cover this game. Bucs in division games are 6-0 against the spread after allowing less than 14 points for teams that are greater than 33% winning percentage. The Bucs have been a really hard team to fade. I know you're talking about the Gronk injuries, but then they have two other tight ends that could start for any other team in this league. And there's just a lot of weapons. Good. Godwin's been great. I mean, this offense is stacked, man. And I don't think Jameis is going to get these 4th and 1 sneaks. He was doing it all against Seattle on Monday night. I was watching the telecast and everything, and Tom Brady's like, oh, he rushed it again. I mean, it's just, and he was breaking down that defense. He was glorifying how great some of these young secondary guys are. He's just setting these guys up for failure, the Saints, because they might be tuning their own horn, taking it easy on them a little bit. But Tom Brady's going to fuck them up here, and I'm still going to take him laying the points here. So give me -6 with them. But I do like that under, though, because I think it's going to be a little bit low scoring. I think Jameis is going to have too much on his plate. I like how the Bucs defense has been playing. So give me the Bucs laying the points, but I do like that under as well. So I'll rock with that as well.
Nice.
All right, we're on the Monday night, Russ. We got the Giants at the Chiefs. The line is -9.5 for the Chiefs. The over-under is 52.
Body bag game.
Oh, shit.
Here it comes. I got the Chiefs
I'll
here.
give a body bag sounder. That's next level.
Yes. Body bag. All right. You said body bag last week. You got me into this body bag now.
Yeah, now I like it.
Yeah, exactly. So you got the best quarterback in the NFL. He's coming off an embarrassing loss last week. All right. This reminds me of the Packers getting blown out 38-3 the first game of the season. All right. Everybody was overreacting, saying Rodgers was cooked or whatever. Right. So I'm hearing a lot of talk this week about Mahomes, how he sucks and the Chiefs offense sucked or whatever. I'm like, what the hell's going on? This guy's in his prime over here. All right. I could see Rodgers, but this guy's in his prime. They have 4 losses this year. They lost to the Ravens, the Chargers, the Bills, the Titans. All those teams are going to make the playoffs this year. Give these guys a freaking break. Holy hell. Guy had his first worst game of his career. Holy hell. These guys are going to get killed. You got the Giants. They're coming off a blowout win, too. They're a terrible team.
My goodness gracious.
Oh, my God. The Chiefs faced 2 bad teams this year. They faced the Eagles and Washington. They won by double digits, both of those games. This is a perfect spot here for the Chiefs. 35-20. I'm being nice with the 20 points for the Giants.
Yeah,
I feel like this is a Monday Night Football game, and I think the defense is going to get right here, too. The crowd's going to be jacked up. These guys, I feel like they're going to win by 3 touchdowns here. I feel like they're going to kill them. So take the Chiefs, guys.
I like the fact that you brought up the Giants coming off that big win. You're going to get some public side with the Giants now getting the points. I remember I went on Twitter. I'm not going to call out any names because I like the guy, so I'm not going to call any names out. But he was talking about when the lines came out, he's like, this is my favorite play. It's the Giants plus 9.5. And I was like, oh, boy, here comes the public perception after they got that big win against Carolina and everything. I like the over because I'm with you. I think they're going to really put it on them. So I think it goes over no matter what. And I know the Chiefs defense has sucked of late, but if they're a little bit better, they are still going to score some points on them. But this might be a 40-burger kind of game for the Chiefs. And I think they can score more than 11 points. So I like the over, but this could be a body bag game. And next time, get that sounder a little louder so we can hear it. But I like that. I like the flow with it. So I'm
I'll
yell
at the guy in the back. He's got to fix that. What the hell's going on back there?
You got to get the producer over there to fix that.
You got to talk. We got to talk to the Sharp app. We got to hire.
We got to talk to those guys.
I can't be doing everything here. I'm all over the place here.
I know. I hear you. I know it's a big production over here. I set everything up, but it's a big production here nor there. Hey, that's the NFL card. I feel really great about it, guys. If you have any questions, we're more happy to answer them. That's what we're here for. Live show. Glad you guys have been tuning in. We appreciate it. But now let's get into college football. We got some big games for us here. Some big games I thought would never been big ranked games, but here we are. The first one, Michigan at Michigan State. Michigan State's getting 4.5. The over under us 50.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take Michigan here. Michigan has an actual resume where they have actually won against tough games against good teams. Michigan State, the best team that they have faced is Nebraska, who I've rated as the 40th best team in the country. And they won, Michigan State won by 3 points in that game, and they were home in that game. So not very impressive. I just feel like this is a step up in class here for Michigan State, who has a false ranking of 8. I just feel like that's a false ranking. This team is literally probably the 25th to 30th ranked team I have down on the season. So that's just what ESPN and all the polls do. They just make it amped up to make this a game. So, but I feel like Michigan, they're going to win and cover this game. Give me Michigan.
Yeah, so I'm looking at what Michigan State has done. You got Northwestern on there. You got Youngstown State, it looks like, Miami, Nebraska. Western Kentucky might be the best team they've faced so far. Rutgers, they handled Rutgers. I mean, Rutgers been up and down a little bit. And Indiana, and they squeaked out a win against an Indiana team that I'm going to get into a little bit later. That wasn't not impressive at all, but I think the real deciding factor this game is the defense. And Michigan, they're ranked 11th in the entire country in total yards allowed and second in points allowed. I think that's important. As far as defense goes for Michigan State, they're 87th in total yards allowed and 121st in the entire country in passing yards allowed. And because of that, I actually really like the over 50.5. I think Michigan's going to be able to put a good amount of points on Michigan State. This is not going to be your typical low scoring Michigan State game.
Yeah, this over under is actually, glad you said that, is actually a little higher than it should be, actually. So that's a good pick too.
Yeah, I mean, if you think Michigan's going to cover this game, I think that it's going to go over as well. I'm on both sides of that, but I really like the over here.
Yeah, Michigan State also, these guys were projected to have like 4.5 or 5 wins this season. These guys they're just winning games. They're undefeated, so they have to make them look like they're a top 10 team. But this team, I talked about that with Oklahoma State the other day. I mean, they lost last week, so they dropped down to 20 now. So this is what they're doing with Michigan State now. I mean, Iowa State didn't cover the game, I guess, because it was 7. It was a little bigger. But Michigan, I just feel like they'll get the cover here. Michigan State's a fraud team that should not be in the top 10. It's absolutely absurd. I am definitely not going to see some team projected to win 4 or 5 games on the season win this game, and then what are they going to be, ranked 5? No way this Michigan State team's getting ranked 5. This team is not winning. If you guys want to lay the lumber, take the damn money line on Michigan State or something, whatever. I usually don't ever say, Michigan. Say the wrong side. Hell yeah.
To save you. We were bashing the other team. You think they throw the money line on
just
them.
Be like, what the fuck? You lost the game? What the hell? Wait, I thought I said I took Michigan. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, we just touted Michigan for an hour.
Trust me, I've done that many times where I sent my pick out to my clients and I'm like, holy shit, I sent the wrong side. I got to redo it.
You know, I amped up about it. Team for the money line.
You can't lose that way, right?
No, yeah, sure. Yeah. It's a win-win situation for you. So you can't knock that. But overall, guys, Michigan laying the points, the over. Yeah. Let's rock and roll with it. I'm all about that over because there will be more points scored in this game. And it's a nice, juicy line for that over. The next game I want to get into, an SEC matchup, Ole Miss at Auburn. Auburn is laying 2.5. The over-under is 66.
I like Ole Miss here. Auburn has beaten all the teams on their level right now, like Arkansas, LSU, but this is another game where they're stepping up in class here. Auburn has won the last 5 matchups in these meetings, so I actually love that even more. They're only a little -2 spread, so they're just getting all the sucker bets for Auburn. Everyone's going to say, oh, they won the last 5 times they played. No, take the better team here. Public's going to get suckered into this game taking Auburn. I said from the beginning of the season when we did our win totals, I got the win total under on Auburn, so I'm definitely not taking them here in this situation. Give me Ole Miss. There should be some points scored, but should be around where the over-under is located. So I'll say 35-30 type of game. I'll take Ole Miss, whose only loss has been to Alabama. So, and I'll take them until they prove me that they lose to teams worse than them. So.
I hate to break it to you, Ross. I'm on the other side over here.
Really?
Yeah, I like Auburn here. I was originally liking Ole Miss here, but I was looking at why I would like Ole Miss, and I just couldn't come across it. I found a lot more things I liked with Auburn. Bo Nix has been real solid this year throwing the ball. Typically a running quarterback. He's been really good so far. I'm just looking at what was going on with Ole Miss this year. You said their only loss was to Alabama.
I need to know what the hell they're putting in that sparkling water now. You like Bo Nix now? What the hell's going on here, man? Come on.
Hey, I'm just telling you, I'm just going with stats here where I'm going with right now. There's a few other things. There's a few more things I also like with this as well. Auburn has been real solid as as a favorite after
Stick
rest.
to your guns. Come on, man. You hated Bo Nix before the season started.
Well, you know what?
You
I
did
have
this
hated
before
Bo
with
Nix
Anthony Lynn before, dude. You were bashing him, and then mid-season, you're like, Anthony Lynn's doing some good stuff here. I'm telling you, man. I'm just helping you. Just making sure you don't
help
bet
me.
this game.
I'll help myself to the the counter, if you will. I'm taking
I'm
Auburn
not
here.
betting Ole Miss, but I'm making sure you're not betting Auburn. That's all I'm making sure.
All right. We'll see after next week. But Auburn is 6-0 as a home favorite, less than 6 points, off back-to-back straight-up wins. I was on Ole Miss before. I've been looking at things from before. This Ole Miss defense has not been that good. I think Bo Nix can take advantage of that. They're ranked 100th in the entire country, Ole Miss, in total yards against over here, while Auburn's 31st in the country on total yards for. So, I mean, just that alone in itself, with Bo Nix throwing the ball better, I'll take the home team here, laying the points. It's going to be a barn burner, but I'll go with the home team here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
I was just checking out. I was taking a quick look to see how many points were scored last year. So there actually wasn't that many. So that's why I kind of like the over in this game. And look at you. You got a little double revenge here, dude. Auburn won the last 2 here, last 5. I don't know.
Well, you don't take all
right
the double
That's right up your alley, is the little double revenge.
Usually it is. Usually it is. But you know what? It's a quad revenge, or geez, it might be a 5-time revenge.
So the thing is, I'm starting to remember now. I remember games just come right to my head. So I had Ole Miss last year actually against Auburn, and I remember it literally was tied the whole game, and somehow Ole Miss gave up the touchdown at the end of the game. I was in shock because I think I was getting plus 3.5, and I'm like, just lose by the field goal. They lost by a touchdown at the end. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, or whatever. It was just one of those type of games. So
I hear you. There's some bad blood between these teams. It's gonna be a lot of fun to watch for sure. But definitely. I got a game, speaking of revenge, I got a game on the revenge tour that really stuck out to me. Indiana at Maryland. The line is currently at -5. The over-under is at 50. Russ, I have games that I like before the season starts, and there's games I have lines for that lines come out right off the bat. This was one of these lines that came out. When I looked at this for my revenge tour, Indiana at Maryland, on July 15th, 2021, they were getting 6.5 points.
Oh my God.
Okay. This is how much of a turn this season has gone for Indiana. Indiana has been a hot mess. Quarterback situation. Penix has been back and forth. A guy that was supposed to be pretty much the best quarterback in the Big Ten has not lived up to expectations. Injuries pretty much taking him out for the most part. This is just a spot where I really like Maryland. This is homecoming. If you follow the Sharp app, I put this play in right away when it was 2.5 points Maryland was laying. Now it's up to 5.5. The line just keeps going higher and higher. But if you're a follower on the Discord, you got it at 2.5 with me. I absolutely love this play. Tua's brother's been fantastic. He's been throwing the ball really well. This is just a great spot. If you look at what both of these teams have done, they've been on the losing end a lot these last 3 games. Both teams losing 3 straight games, I believe, all facing Ohio State. So you can throw that out the window because they're just smashing everybody right now. But I'm looking at what Indiana's done. They lost 24-0 to Penn State, Michigan State 20-15, Ohio State 7-54. I mean, they're not doing well here, but I mean, so Maryland hasn't been that great either. I mean, they were able to put up some points against Ohio State, but they also put a 66 burger on, which is insane. But this is a good get right spot for the Terrapins, for Testudo, the Terrapin, and the rest of the gang. This is going to be a good spot. The offense should be clicking here for Maryland. I really like them here. The lines makers agree with me here. This line is skyrocketing so high because they know this might be a big game here where Indiana won't be able to score and Maryland's just going to put an onslaught of offense on this team. So give me the Terrapins. I am at 2.5, but I will be more than happy to lay 5-6 points with them. This is double revenge served beautifully on homecoming. Let's do this. Homecoming for the alumni, for Testudo, the Terrapin, everybody else, for Juan Dixon, Stevie Franchise, all the greats.
Oh, shit.
This is the game right here to get back on track for the Terrapins. Give me the Terrapins laying the points in a beatdown. And what? Hit the sounder. Hit the sounder.
I told you I can't do it all, man.
Oh, come on, man. You had the sounder.
I ain't got anything.
Oh, come on, man. You had the body bag sounder. I was waiting for that.
Nah, I got to rewind or something.
Oh,
Probably.
Christ, forget it. Never mind. I thought he had the button.
You
All right,
only
forget
get
it.
one.
That's
You
all
only
right.
get one big bang. All right, there.
All right, sorry.
That's a
That's it.
Chiefs
That's all you
body
got. You
bag
get the
game,
one
but-
body bag call for the
Yeah.
Chiefs.
But I do like this game. I do like this Maryland game because I ran down the list on every single spread this week for college football, and this one looked like Maryland on a typical day should be -2.5. So seeing that they're at 5.5 jumped out of nowhere. It's probably because all the Indiana quarterbacks are out for this game. So this looks like a great spot. And I just wanted to look through. I was looking through the games of Maryland real quick. They have 4 wins. They need 2 more for a bowl.
Yeah.
And some of these teams are tough. They got at Michigan State, Penn State,
Mm-hmm.
Michigan. So the 2 games that they got to win are this one, and they got Rutgers the last game of the season. So all they got to do is and that was their projected win total. Actually, this season was 6 wins. So they're due. These are the 2 games that they have to win. So to be focused, and they played terrible. I had them last week against Minnesota. So these are the 2 games they just got to have after playing terrible these past couple of weeks anyway. So definitely a perfect spot here.
And also, Maryland's been great at home as a home favorite. They're 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games as a home fave. Russ, this is a noon kickoff, homecoming, bright and early. It's going to be a perfect spot for Maryland. I love them here. I think the QB play is going to be fantastic here. Tons of weapons. I love it. This is a perfect spot. The points are laid, Russ. This is it. Terrapins need this game, like you said, for the bowl eligibility, which all these teams are always trying to get. I cannot wait for bowl season this year. Last year, I absolutely crushed bowl season. I made sure to bet every bowl game, and I was over, what was the number? I think I was around 65% on the bowl games. It was all documented on Twitter. I made a pledge to bet every game of the bowl season, and it worked out great. Can't wait for it. And this is the step for them to get into those bowl games. So give me the Terrapins.
Oh, yeah, man.
All right, but that will do it. Thank you guys for watching, listening. Remember to subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Hey, get on the Sharp app. What are you doing? There's tons of great content on there, betting tools. You get your best lines for not even just the games, but for props as well. So you got it all here. And remember, use my code EBOMB. Get 10% off for the Discord. If you're already part of it, you already got these plays at the right time. It pays to be a member. So get on board. Use the code EBOMB. Get 10% off. You won't regret it. Tons of great cappers and my plays as well, and Russ's plays. So just a little icing on the cake, cherry on top. Let's keep winning here, Russ. Let's do the thing.
That's right. And make sure you guys subscribe. And how do I get my finger here? Down below, hit the like button right down there. Helps us out, guys. All you got to do is it's a quick tap. You watch this video, even if you watch half the show, just hit the like button on the bottom right there. All right. Subscribe. Every Wednesday, we put these shows out, guys, to help everyone win. So make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, message us. We can help you guys out. If you have any questions about anything, message Anthony. If you have questions about fantasy football, message him too. But if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me and Chris. So thanks for all the comments today. We appreciate the comments, guys. Keep them coming. And if you have questions, we'll answer them. But this will close out the show.
All right, man. Let's tackle that board.
Let's tackle the board.